I never thought I would break 20 minutes for the 5K. I just saw people doing it at parkrun and stuff like that and thought they have something that I don't have. I first started running in August of 2022 and my first ever run was 3.32 kilometers. It took 30 minutes and 20 seconds and my average pace was 9 minutes and 7 seconds per kilometer. I'd never heard of Strava. I didn't have a Garmin watch like I do now. And my first ever run was tracked on my old Samsung smartwatch, which I only had because I thought it looked cool. Since 2022, I've put in a lot of work, a lot of hard sessions. I've done 2 marathons, countless workouts. I've tried various different training plans. I've loved it, I've hated it, I've wanted to give up at times, but above all else, I've stayed consistent and I just kept showing up no matter what. So all of that, all the injuries, all the failed attempts, all the disappointment, all the joy and all the brilliant moments as well, but that all led me to the start of this training block. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go sub 20 minutes for the 5K. So I had to take everything I've learned from everything I've done since the start or since 2022 and I had to apply it to this training block. And I knew it had to be the hardest, most successful training block I've ever done, else I wasn't going to achieve that massive goal of sub 20 minutes for the 5K. I knew I wanted to run 4 times a week, not 5, because when I run 5 times a week, I get too fatigued and it builds up and I can't achieve the intensity that I want to achieve in the sessions. And with 3 sessions per week, that's not enough for me to achieve the weekly volume that I want to achieve. If I was to do 3 sessions, each session would be really, really long and I wouldn't be able to feasibly fit that into my evening routine. Alongside the runs, I also do 3 strength sessions per week, an upper body session, a lower body session, and a full body strength session. I use the Runner app to take care of all of my running workouts, interval workouts, and how much weekly volume I should be doing. But I do, however, write my own strength sessions and strength program, basically. I do that using various information that I've gathered over the years from other YouTubers and things like that. A typical week in this training block would look like a Monday full body strength session. Tuesday would be speed work, so either an interval or a tempo run. Wednesday would be a lower body strength session. Thursday would be another speed run day, so again, interval or tempo run type work. Friday is my one rest day of the week. Saturday is the long run day, so the day where I do the most amount of kilometers, usually at an easy pace. And Sunday is a double day, so that usually consists of a recovery run, nice and easy pace, just recovering the legs, and an upper body strength session. Nutrition also played a massive part in this training block. In general, I just try to eat vegetarian and eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible. I'm not exclusively vegetarian. I do occasionally enjoy eating meat, and I mainly just eat vegetarian to basically try and ensure I get more fruits and vegetables in my diet. Sort of being vegetarian forces that in a way. I keep my supplementation relatively straightforward. I just take these supplements. I take them once a day, usually after my run in the evenings. And I'm probably going to be including in the vlogs going forward sort of more information about the nutrition that I have and supplements and stuff like that. So if you are interested in that, you know, feel free to follow along on my journey. Hydration is also key. And this training block was actually the first training block where I ever sort of basically dabbled with electrolytes. I started taking these as it was coming up to the race day to make sure that I was as well hydrated as I could possibly be. And I also had these on the morning of the race. I'm not exactly certain how much difference these make yet. I've only just added these into the routine basically, but yeah, it's a new one. So I guess that brings us to race day. weather looks. Cold, foggy, bit rainy. Not too bad. I was a little bit nervous because the Garmin watch didn't reckon I could do sub 20 minutes, so I did not feel great about that. I did, however, feel pretty great about my choice of shoe. I knew right from the start of the training block I was using the Nike Vaporfly 3s. I use these for all of my races. They've never let me down, and I love and I trust them. I didn't want to have the pressure of booking a race and having a specific date that I needed to hit, and then having loads of people around me on the day. So I knew from the start of this training block, I wanted to do it by myself on the track, 12.5 laps, me versus me. My fiance Lauren kindly offered to come and help me film this race, which was brilliant because I didn't then have to worry about carrying a camera around with me whilst I'm also trying to run as fast as I possibly can.
Just gonna do a quick warm up and then get going. It's freezing out today.
2 laps around the track at a nice easy pace, just trying to get the legs warm but not tire myself out.
It's pretty decent weather for it actually. It's cold but it's about right. Just let these sprinters go. Sharing the track with quite a few people today.
At the start of the race, I was so nervous. I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to do this, and it just felt like a monumental task that I was undertaking. Once I got going, I was actually going too fast, and that made me even more nervous because I was scared about blowing up then, and have I set off too fast? Am I going to be able to recover from this spot? So I just spent the first couple of laps really trying to figure out the target race pace and trying to zone on into that and maintain that. About midway through this race is when it got really, really difficult, as do most 5k races. It's always that middle section that's the most difficult bit. So I was just really trying to keep to that target race pace, and I told myself, if I fail, it's because my body fails. I'm not gonna mentally dip out of this race. You know, if I'm not gonna achieve sub 20 minutes today, it's because something on my body is going to fail. And then the last lap, I started to feel sick, and I thought, oh no, my body is actually failing here. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna have to stop to be sick. So rounding the last corner with about 200 meters to go, I thought, oh no, it's coming, and I felt really, really close to being sick, and I ended up being sick in my mouth. And sort of the last 200 meters, I was sort of dealing with swallowing that and trying to keep moving at the same pace because I could see that it was close. I knew that I needed to keep going. As soon as I finished, I just sat straight down. I had nothing left. I was completely spent. Absolutely everything I had, I gave it.
I've done it.
You did it?
I did it.
I thought you'd stop because you were sick.
I was. In my mouth. But I did it. I've done it. Yes. No, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Say it again.
No. Just don't get in.
5k, 19 minutes and 55 seconds. And I was only sick in my mouth this time. I didn't actually vomit on the track, so that's something. Oh, that was unbelievably hard. So buzzing with that.
19 minutes and 55 seconds of pure agony, pain, fatigue, both mental and physical fatigue as well. It ended with me almost throwing up. I did actually throw up in my mouth, but I had to swallow it again, so it's pretty disgusting. But I have to say, I'm absolutely buzzing to come away with a time of 19 minutes and 55 seconds. I honestly did not think that was possible. Going into that day, I thought, it might not be my day, I might have to do this again. But I'm so unbelievably pleased to have just boxed it off in one. I can move on from it now, I can move on. So just a quick breakdown of the splits now. So the first kilometer was 3 minutes and 49 seconds. So about 11 seconds too quick because we're targeting 4 minutes per kilometer here. So 3:49 for the first one. The second one was absolutely bang on. So we got 4 flat for the second kilometer. The third kilometer was 4:02. The fourth kilometer was 4:01 and the fifth one was 4:01. So after that first kilometer where I went out a little bit too hot, I settled back into the pace and just managed to sort of fall into that zone and managed to maintain it as well, which is the part that I'm most pleased about really. It was a big worry of mine going into that race, whether or not I'd be able to find 4 minute per kilometer pace quickly and whether I'd be able to sort of sit in that comfortably without sort of moving up and down. And basically I was worried about being able to run 4 minutes per kilometer and knowing what that feels like, because it's not a pace that I've trained at a ton. I've done some training faster than that and I've done a lot of training slower than that, but I haven't actually done that many sort of practice target kilometers at that pace. So I was really, really happy when on race day, relatively quickly, I was able to find and sit on that 4 minutes per kilometer pace. So yeah, anyway, that is the sub 20 minute 5K, I guess. I can officially say I'm in the sub 20 club now, which is pretty cool, to be honest with you. I didn't think I'd ever be able to say that about myself. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. I am unbelievably happy, to the point where I'm actually almost sort of sad that it's over, and I really don't know how I'm going to follow that one up now. It's like a massive goal of mine checked off the list, and I'm not actually quite sure what to do now. I've got quite a few races booked for this year. I've got a marathon booked for October. I've got quite a few half marathons booked as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support on this sub 20 minute 5K training series as well. It's been insane. It's sort of the first training block that I've ever documented on YouTube start to finish. I obviously did the Silverstone half marathon one as well, but that was only really the back end of the training block after I'd already done a half marathon. So this was like the first sort of from scratch episode sort of one, all the way through until actually achieving that sub 20 minutes. So yeah, support on this has been insane. I really, really enjoyed it. And I just want to say massive thank you to everyone for tuning in. And if you would be so kind to hit subscribe and tune in to whatever we get up to next, that will also be massively appreciated. So yeah, we'll sort of head back to more sort of standard, my typical vlog style in the weeks coming up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of breakdown of how I've achieved the sub 20 minute 5K. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Peace.